have some weird feelings about that loss. Um, it's easy to understand, but it almost makes it more difficult to come to terms with. Um, that game just showed that the Dodgers were just better. And this is really the first game that they were just outright the better team. Of course, game one was winnable for us. Game two was winnable for the Dodgers. We ended up splitting that. Game three, I feel like the Dodgers just kind of flexed their superiority over us, essentially, for just being the better run organization. I'm not going to talk about Henry or Bloom or whatever, but obviously, I think we all have to agree just from the last 5 years that obviously the Dodgers are the better run organization. They don't give me anything about the bubble postseason or the postseason in general or da 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 da. They're a better run organization than we are, and they're a better team than we are. At the very least, from a baseball perspective, they're obviously a better team. Um, it felt like our resource was very thin. Bernardino getting COVID really sucks, so he's going to be out for at least a week. They said Jansen will come back. He never went on IL. Of course, today was not a game that he would have pitched in because the game got out of hand by the middle innings. We sent Chris Murphy out there to just eat innings, hopefully keep us in the game. He wasn't able to do that. The game got 7-2. Red Sox hit 3 home runs. That's the only bright spot. The Red Sox have been hitting a bunch of home runs lately. Now, this offense had always been good, but even when we had been good all season, we really hadn't been hitting as many home runs as the other good offensive teams. But, hit 3 more today. Duvall got one. Casas got one. And Turner got one. So that was nice to see. Tanner Houck only won a few innings. Didn't pitch badly, but Red Sox didn't give him enough run. And they scored 4 runs today, so not a terrible offensive showing, but Chris Murphy just absolutely did not have it. 6 runs in 4 innings. And we saw a Mauricio Llovera performance, so very, very end of the bullpen. Of course, Mookie hits a home run. It felt like we weren't going to escape this series without him hitting a home run. I mean, I guess better to do it today where they would have won anyway versus yesterday where the game was in the balance and he barely missed putting one out. And, of course, he came back, had a great series, had 3 hits again today. Verdugo, after starting off the series strong, went 0 for 5 in this one. Disappointing for sure. Duvall and Casas both had multi-hit games. The only ones with multi-hit games. But we just weren't the better team today. And ultimately, we lose the series. We got 4 against Houston. No. 3 against Houston. We just had 4 against Houston. Okay, yes, we have 3 against Houston. And that's going to, again, be an important series, obviously, as we try and stay in the race and da-da-da-da-da. We need to do everything we can. We need to win these games. It's a lot. It's just a lot going on. No, I don't know. I mean, apparently Fangraphs is projecting that to get in the postseason, we'll need pretty much 90 wins. They're 69 and 62 right now. So in order to get to 90 wins, the Red Sox would have to finish 21 and 10. So that would pretty much mean taking 2 out of every 3, basically. We'd basically have to take 2 out of every 3. So you almost feel like we can't lose another series. Like we'd have to, on average, not lose another series. So, I mean, again, if we sweep, obviously, we would have to take 2 out of every 3 on average in order to get 21 more wins in 31 more games. So, yeah, the American League just has a lot of teams that I think are just doing better than expected, including us. Obviously, there's levels to not making the postseason. I mean, they're obviously doing better than expected. I mean, I don't want it to be quite as simple as, they didn't make the postseason. I mean, missing the postseason by 1 game is definitely different than finishing last by a lot. 2021, the Mariners missed the postseason by 1 game. They finished 90 and 72. You really think that you're going to put them on the same tier as the Diamondbacks, who went 52 and 110 and didn't even come close to the postseason? No, absolutely not. There's levels to this. I think I I talk so negatively all the time, but I end up secretly in my head getting sucked back into this idea of like, oh, they go on a run and they make the postseason and da 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 da. If they get there, anything happens. But I mean, it's obviously just not likely, and it's not like, and expectations, da da da. I think it's just weird that this team looks like sometimes they can pull off a run and get in, and they just don't. This obviously wasn't the worst game I've ever seen. They committed no errors, so generally speaking, a cleaner game, at least from a fundamental standpoint. Um, Obviously, this I've seen some really, 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 really ugly game. So, it's it's tough to swallow because again, it just makes me feel like sometimes that we're just not good enough to consistently hang with the best teams in the league. But that's all. That's all. Um, I guess just move on to the next one. Hope to go 1-0 every day the rest of the season because that's what kind of awaits us. Obviously, it's not going to happen, but just try and go 1-0 every day and form a winning streak and see where it takes us.